Hi there, I'm Sarah Cunnington. Welcome to Drawn from the Word. More than 2 years on from the time that the world began to be aware of the dreaded COVID virus, it is still circulating, still mutating, still claiming lives. However, we've had to learn to live with it and its consequences and its implications. Today I want to look at something extraordinary that came out of a similar pandemic centuries ago. Perhaps that should give us cause for hope. Let's see. One evening, I watched an episode of a British TV series exploring the country's main rivers. This particular programme featured the Trent, the fourth longest river in the UK. Scenes of beautiful countryside were interspersed with the history of nearby towns and villages and stories of their inhabitants. Amongst these was the celebrated 17th century polymath, Sir Isaac Newton. The programme was strikingly current as all around the world people were facing the COVID-19 pandemic. And the reason why I say it was current was because Newton lived through the Great Plague. It was one of the worst epidemics of bubonic plague that recurred at intervals from the 14th to the 18th century. Between 1665 and 1666, London lost 15% of its population. That's some 100,000 people. Many institutions shut down, including the University of Cambridge, where Newton was a postgraduate student. He took refuge in the family home in Lincolnshire. While holed up there, he immersed himself in his studies, covering his bedroom walls with geometrical figures and mathematical formulae, which are still visible today. Using 2 glass prisms, he established that light is composed of all the colours of the spectrum, the rainbow. Then, so the story goes, after observing an apple falling from a tree in his parents' garden, Newton formulated the law of gravity, the invisible force that holds the universe together. In the 300 years since his death, Newton's theories have been further developed, but they still remain as historic breakthroughs in scientific understanding. Light figured from the first moment of creation. The first words God spoke were, "Let there be light," and there was, and God saw that it was good. We need light. We grow sad and depressed without it, and physically weak too. The Gospel of John declares Jesus to be the light of the world, and we all need his light, though sadly many people do not realise that truth. Those of us who do know Jesus are called to share his light with those who are struggling in darkness, now more than ever. One of the symbols of hope in the British lockdown was the rainbow. This sign was first given to Noah after the flood destroyed the majority of mankind on earth. It was a symbol of God's promise that he would never again destroy all flesh by a flood. It's important to remember this. despite the rainbow being appropriated by different groups, even nations. First and foremost, it's God's promise to humanity. Then we have gravity. Gravity is a powerful force. Science describes it as a force or attraction which causes us all to stumble and fall. So it's also a picture of the weight of sin in our lives, the sin that draws us away from our loving Creator God. It's about our selfishness, pride, greed, ambition, hatred, jealousy, and lust. These grave sins lead to the grave, for the wages of sin is death. In English, the word light also means without great weight. So how do we deal with the weight of sin and the corresponding darkness that we all wrestle with? Well, there is a way that is available for each one of us, and it is Jesus, the light of the world. Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30 says this: "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Thank you for listening. I hope to see you again next week. In the meantime, be blessed. Bye-bye.